Welcome back. Declassified government reports now show how far Iran has gone to try to dominate Iraq. The new government information shows Iran did train and provide arms to a Shiite group based in Iraq to attack and kill U.S. soldiers there in order to pressure U.S. troops to leave. At least five U.S. soldiers were killed. Let's take a check of oil prices rising today, extending gains on growing evidence of disruptions to crude supply from Iran and Venezuela, and after a fall in U.S. crude inventories. Let's bring in a top military expert, Van Hipp. He's a former top Army official. He's with American Defense International. He's the chair of that group. So, Van, it's great to see you, sir.
Liz, good to be with you.
So the question now is, was this intelligence available to the Obama White House, even as it's thought that Iran deal giving Iran tens of billions of dollars?
Liz, I think they had this back going back, our country's had it probably going back to 2007. This was part of an interrogation of al-Khazali by our U.S. Central Command back then. It was declassified by CENTCOM this year. So we've known about it a long time. Surprise, surprise. Iran was providing IED technology as well as training these militia groups who would then go back in and launch attacks against our soldiers.
So it basically was helping not arm Iraq. Let's scrap that banner down there. It's helping a Shiite militia in Iraq attack Iraqi, U.S. troops. So here's the thing, Van Hipp. Should Americans see more classified documents and sooner? Do voters have a right to see this sort of intelligence and know who's pulling the strings immediately, not years after the fact?
I think so, but Liz, we did something for Fox News a couple of years ago using open source intelligence to reveal that Iranian nuclear scientists were on the ground in North Korea back in like 2013, 2014, helping them with their nuclear tests. So it should not be a surprise that what Iran has been doing, they've been in bed with North Korea, what they've been doing from a nuclear standpoint, what they've been doing from a ballistic missile standpoint. And thank goodness President Trump has done what he's done. The Iranians are starting to get a little antsy right now and a little jumpy.
Yeah, well, tell us what's going on inside Iran right now, because this matters for the oil market. It matters for the protesters in Iraq who wants Iran. They want a free Iran because then, man, we've got a spokesman for Iran telling the UN and that, you know what happened with Iraq, it never happened. We didn't want to manipulate Iraqi politics. Of course, they're not telling the truth. You're taking all that.
Yeah, we need full exposure, get all of this out. Their president, Hassan Rouhani, has been rebuked by the Iranian parliament. They fired their finance minister 2 days ago. You've got economic crisis there with high unemployment. Their national currency has been significantly devalued. And, oh, by the way, a former Iranian ambassador to the UN started trashing Russia the other day. They're starting to feel a little jumpy. I do think what this president is doing is making a difference.
What does that mean? Hang on. Sorry, forgive me 1 second, Ben. I'm so sorry. Forgive me for interrupting. Going after a Russian official. Iran is going after a Russian official. What's the import of that?
Because Netanyahu's been meeting with the Russians to try to get the Russians to work with the Syrians to basically create a 50-mile buffer zone along the Syrian-Israeli border to make sure there are no Iranian-backed militias within 50 miles of the Israeli border. And so they're starting to feel it right now, and we need to continue to apply maximum pressure. And one thing I would advocate, I've been a big fan of something called Al-Hurra. That's a network that has a pro-Western values message that's an independent federal agency of our government to go into that part of the world where they're used to just seeing anti-Western venom 24 hours a day. We need to have a renewed focus in Iran. Everything we can do to exacerbate the situation there and create change from within.